Welcome to the Week 4 Ethical Dilemma Response by hashtag Winning Together with a special appearance by hashtag Winning Baby.
Hey Susan, you got a second? I've been thinking about our conversation the other day, and I really appreciate your insight. I never realized we had such vastly different corporate cultures at Milligan and Stanley until these post-merger discussions began. Even our family-friendly workplace practices stand in stark contrast to the offices at Stanley. And since no one's around, let's talk about the situation with Steve. I reached out to several subordinates hoping to gather more information regarding the unethical practices you referenced. In speaking with them, I realized not only are the allegations true, but that many didn't realize that these practices were against Milligan's Code of Ethics. This situation is really tricky. Everyone signs the Code of Ethics when they're initially hired. And since many of the employees also violated it, I feel like I should take some form of disciplinary action against them, along with Steve. I also don't know if we can really fire Steve when his HR file is so squeaky clean.
Christine, I believe Steve should be held responsible for his actions and the actions he's allowed within his department by being fired. As a VP district manager, it is his responsibility to model, communicate, and reinforce ethical behavior to his subordinates. Using the utilitarian approach, I feel that he should be fired because his behavior is detrimental to the positive corporate culture we are trying to build here. As interim CEO, Christine, you are responsible for ensuring that the corporate culture supports ethical behavior.
That's a really good point, Susan, and I don't necessarily disagree. But I'm trying to approach this decision from multiple viewpoints. From an egoist approach, we could make the argument that Steve should stay because his behavior is leading the team towards noticeable high performance. And from my own egoist approach, firing Steve would certainly put me out of the running for the CEO position and create some bad blood between me and the board, especially a certain board member. But from a utilitarian approach, it benefits the most people if we have one centralized corporate culture and hold those who violate the rules accountable. It's for the greatest good that this organization hold itself up to the highest ethical standards possible.
Understood. So what is your decision and how should we proceed?
I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because I don't have anything documented in Steve's file. I don't believe that firing him or laying him off right now is the best move. We should use what we have learned in this situation to revamp our code of ethics and make sure it's communicated heavily to our workforce. We also need to do a better job communicating our whistleblower policy, especially the part where employees who know about unethical practices and don't report them are also held accountable. These two actions should help us start with a clean slate, but also mandate that we are committed to upholding ethical practices at Milligan and Stanley. We need to make sure that this directive is communicated to all of our managers and also that it is enforced. And regarding Steve, I want to formally write him up on the investigative claims that we've discovered the past few days. We need to implement ongoing corporate training assessments on what is and is not appropriate so that we all understand the company-wide ethical and legal practices. I also want you to put in place a compliance program to help foster a corporate culture of integrity. I will let the board know my strategy to address the double coverage issues is to have 5 VP district managers, and that we now have a plan to build a cohesive and positive organizational culture. This feels like a win-win for everyone. I'm still on track to have a shot at CEO. We're doing a better job documenting Steve's unethical practices. And if we have to trim down to 4 VP district sales managers, I know who's next on the chopping block. Thanks for your help, Susan.